Hey everybody, Lisa Young Sutton here with another video for you. And this is another video on the primary vibe. This is primary vibe video number 2. Okay, and I decided to make another video on this topic because it truly is the basis of a complete understanding of this system. Okay, to truly grasp the idea of the primary vibe will lead to Lenormand mastery, I promise you. Okay, so I'm going to start with explaining what the phrase primary vibe means and why I chose that, because this I think will be very helpful. All right, so let's zoom in. Okay. All right, so we'll start with the word primary, because both of these words kind of have two meanings. So when we put all four together, you're really going to get why I chose to call it this. All right, so primary, the meaning most people can relate to is that it's something that comes first, right? Whoops. It's something that comes first. So it's going to be the first thing you think of when you look at a card. But it's also something of the highest importance. So it's not just the first thing you're going to think of, it's the most important thing. It's the thing that's never going to change, no matter what reading you're doing. Okay, it's never going to change. And let's talk about the word vibe. All right, well, vibe has its own meaning, the word vibe. It's an emotional reaction or feeling about something, okay? So the vibe is the first thing that you feel, the first reaction you get when you look at the card, okay? Putting primary and vibe together. Now, vibe is also short for vibration, right? That's where the word comes from. It's short for vibration. So what is vibration? Vibration is a distinctive atmosphere capable of being sensed. So, if we put all that together, it's the first reaction you're going to get when you look at a card. And it's the primary, it is the primary atmosphere, okay, that this card is showing you, okay? Now, let me show you really quickly because I always forget the deck. If I don't show you this right away, it never happens. All right, where are we? Here we go. Okay, so this deck is Lenormand Silhouettes Mini, and I got this from Game Crafter. Okay, now, I am going to show you a quick example of a short spread that my mentee, where did I put it? My mentee just performed. Okay, here it is. Now, I'm showing you this because the fact that I'm using the word primary here, well, that tells you that there's different layers to interpreting, yeah. There are different layers to interpreting any spread, right? The primary one is the first one that you do. Then you dig deeper or spread out, thinner. You could put it that way, and you tap into more keywords and you get more layers. But the primary, the first layer of the reading is just the primary vibes. So let me just demonstrate this quickly. Okay, so my protege, a protege is someone that you mentor, but most people don't use that word, protege. Hang on, I'll show you this deck too. Does it fit? Yeah, there we go. All right, and I will zoom in. Okay, so this was a five card line, and this was actually part of, she also did a 5 card for what would be the benefits. This was the 5 card for like the detriments, we'll say. All right, so this deck this is one of Lynn Boyle's decks. This is the Matilda Lenormand by Lynn Boyle. 2017. She even has the date on there. Okay, so what was this question? All right, the question was, how would leaving the second job be detrimental to X? We'll just call the client X. Okay, and these are the 5 cards that she pulled. So she started with her primary vibes. And our primary vibes are communication, big and forceful, and obstacle, trouble. So her first layer in this reading was to just simply say, by communicating in a big and forceful way that you're going to end this job, it will lead to obstacles and trouble. So that was her first layer, just based on the primary vibes, okay? Then she went deeper. So her next layer was looking at these cards more closely and relating them specifically to the topic, which is a job, right? So then she saw this as some sort of an official document. The bear then became protecting assets. This became permanently burying something, right? And this became challenges that the client didn't see clearly, okay? So we can see that bear stands between letter and coffin. So she knew this was some kind of an important document. I mean, the bear makes it important, right? She needs to protect it. But by burying it, this was going to lead to challenges that she wasn't seeing clearly. And this turned out to be a license. And what this client had forgotten was that this second job was connected to a license that she had, that if she didn't perform the job anymore, she would lose the license. It was that kind of a thing where she had to keep doing it in order to keep this license going, okay? So that was the answer. And as you can see, even if she had just stuck with those primary vibes, the client probably would have gotten the message. But because she went deeper then, the primary vibe got her there, right? And then she dug deeper and she got a clearer answer, and it, that was the answer. So the client was thrilled. She said, "Oh my gosh, thank you. I can't leave that second job." Actually, she decided to just cut back, keep the job, but not do it as much, right? Because she needed some time off. All right, so here we go. Let me get in here. Okay, so now, what's the difference between primary vibes and keywords? That's the biggest question I get, or the most, common question I get. So, what is the difference? Well, the primary vibe is the core meaning of the card. It's the most basic function that card will perform in any reading. Notice I have these in order, rider to cross. Okay. So, keywords. Keywords are specific to the context of the reading. Keywords will change based on the question. Primary vibes won't. Primary vibes will always be primary vibes. They will always stay the same. So you can actually perform readings by not even knowing any keywords, just by the primary vibes. You're going to get the gist of what story the cards are telling you. All right, so for an example, rider, right? My primary vibe for rider is arrival. All right, it's always an incoming energy. It's something coming to you, right? Something arriving, excuse me. So what keywords does this include, this card? News, visitors, ideas, packages, mail, feedback, right? Those are some, keywords, right? Those keywords are all different, right? And they will depend on the context of the reading. But the primary vibe, arrival, will not. It's always going to be something arriving. Arriving. All those things arrive, right? Visitors, packages, ideas, feedback, all that. Okay, you getting that? All right, another example is ship. The primary vibe, my primary vibe is journey. Some keywords include travel, distant, opportunity seeking, right? Going the distance, seeking opportunities, seeking betterment, foreign, new adventures, trade and commerce, right? Going out and seeking trade and money and all that, right? Okay. So all those keywords are different, right? You're not going to use trade and commerce and vacation for the same reading, most likely, you know. But no matter what, the primary vibe will always hold true. It's still some kind of a journey. If you think about all those keywords I just said, they all relate to some sort of a journey, either physical or metaphorical. Okay, so there is the difference between primary vibes and keywords. Now, the reason I laid these cards out in order is because I thought this might give you more of a you know, like a basis of looking at these cards, these primary vibes, and how they all go together, all right? So I want you to think of this as a story. Like I said, these cards are in order, 1 to 36. Think of this as a story. The story we're going to make up for this is a project, okay? You want to start a project, okay? So start with the writer. Incoming idea about the project. Clover, little opportunities are arising, right? Ship, going the distance with it. You're seeking, you know, betterment. You're seeking the commerce from this project, okay? You're willing to go the distance, all that, okay? House, bringing it home, bringing it into your personal world, but this is also that it's still in your private realm, okay? You have not released this yet, all right? Tree, putting down roots and fertilizing it, giving it what it needs to thrive, and also being patient because it's going to take a while, right? That's why the tree's up here. Clouds, getting through the confusion, right? You have a lot of stuff you've got to see through, okay? And on the other side of the clouds, you got the snake, okay? Detours that you didn't see coming. Isn't that funny that it follows the clouds, right? You know, that's the meaning of the snake, isn't it? You know, it's like, whoa, you know, the snake just struck. I didn't see him. He was hidden behind the clouds. Okay, coffin, you reach dead ends. That's the way it is whenever you're thinking of starting a project, right? This is just beginning, right? You hit dead ends, okay? What happens after you hit dead ends? Bouquet is receiving attractive offers or making it more attractive, okay? Scythe, sorting, editing, removing what's dangerous to your project or what's unwanted. Whip represents the struggle and tension. Something's out of alignment. Whoops. Something's out of alignment here, okay? As soon as you see that, you know something is out of alignment, okay? And then this is all that mental chatter. You're trying to figure out the whip issue, right? What happens when you do? This is the card of ease. The child is the card of ease and the card of now you're starting something. It's small, it's just starting. You just got through all this, right? All right, but then of course, things still go wrong, don't they? Something's wrong. This is a need to be shrewd, right? Do whatever it takes, all of that. Bear follows the fox. This is the whole setup here of these cards is so logical, right? Now you need to protect yourself after you encountered the fox. Now you feel like you got to protect yourself, right? Now you're really going to take charge, right? Now the stars shows progress. The stars is, you know, look here. This is your GPS card, right? It's now you're in alignment. Now you're focused because you just went through a whole nother layer. Look at the 2 layers you've already gone through with this project. Okay, now we get to the stork. Changes and improvements, okay? Because this warrants a need for changes and improvements. The dog shows that no matter what, you've been through all this crap already, right? But you're still remaining steadfast. And you now can see who's loyal to you, like whoever this was, if this was another person. Well, you know, you took charge of that, right? Now you know who's loyal to you and who's not, and what you should be loyal to regarding this project, all that fun stuff. But then you still have to go through the tower, Okay, the tower is all the levels you have to go through. This is your ambition. You're trying to get up here, right? You're starting down here. You're trying to get up here. This is red tape. This is regulations. It's rules. All that, you know, government stuff and bureaucracy and all that. Bleh. Okay, so then got to keep my personal opinions out of this. All right, so then we get to the garden, right? The garden is expanding, right? Remember, it's still in your private realm. Now you're expanding. You're putting it out there. You're including others, okay? But that always brings some obstacles and some enemies, doesn't it? As soon as you put yourself out there, yep. I know that all too well, okay? And what happens after these obstacles, enemies, delays arise? Well, that warrants the need to make choices. Well, now which way do I go, right? They all go in order. All right, so now you've got the mice, which is something is taking away, all right? Because you've been through a whole nother layer, right, of ups and downs, right? You just met with some obstacles and challenges and enemies or whatever. You got some tough choices. You know, you've got these underlying little worries now, and something is taking away from this. But what has to follow that, what always follows the mice in life in general, is you find your passion again. There's the heart. You regain your passion. You've got to feel it to manifest it. Isn't that a rule of manifestation? You've got to feel good. You've got to love it. You've got to find joy in it, or you're not going to manifest it. Okay. So next we have the ring. What is the ring? It's about you're completely committed now. Not just that, but you may be contracting with others too. This is unions and commitments. It's either your own or it includes others. Sorry, this always bothers me. These things are very slippery. Okay, so you've just committed. Maybe you've joined with others. Now there's more to learn. There's still stuff you don't know. You're still you haven't reached the bottom yet, right? You're still working on this. You're learning, you're researching. That leads to what do you do with what you just learned, right? You've got to put it in writing. You've got to communicate it. You know, this is documents and all that stuff, okay? That comes from this, all right? Now we have the man and the woman. You know, they're just the people, whoever you are, whoever your partner is, that kind of thing. Okay, let's jump right to the lily, because coming from all this, well, now you're wiser. Now you're reaching satisfaction. You're reaching level of competency, okay? The project matures here, okay? Sun is, after this, now you're optimistic, aren't you? You know success is coming. You can see clearly now. You've got great energy. You're putting everything you've got into this now. Once you've hit this, now it logically moves to this, which then leads to this, because this is the moon, and now you're being noticed. Now people are seeing this project. You're seeing this project through, but other people are noticing it too. And you know, what do I call this sometimes? The love goggles, because you're just like, you're seeing this project now through your love goggles. You're like, oh my gosh, look at all I've gone through and all I've done, and success is assured, and I love my project, and other people are loving it too. Okay, then we get down to the key, because now you have the key to success. It's a sure thing, right? This is your yes card. You hold the key. And the fish, well, we know the fish is money, right? It does not usually follow, but it's the card of abundance, which means so many exchanges, right? It's all flowing, all right? And then you're going to end in one of two places. You basically have two final cards in this deck. This means you've reached your goal. Now you want to drop your anchor there, or what is it called in the original plot meanings, right? It's the game of hope, right? This is the game of hope, and that was the anchor card, was the card of hope. Well, what is hope? Hope is not just desire, right? I mean, this can be desire, but desire, or hope rather, is the anticipation that you'll get there. So this card means you've either gotten there and you're ready to drop this, or you're darn close because you anticipate that you're going to make it. Now, if you wind up here at the cross, it basically means that you're still burdened, but you have faith. Isn't that the two primary meanings of this card, right? That everybody uses, right? They either use it for the card of faith or it's the card of burdens, but they are interrelated, because what is faith but a heavy conviction, all right? Whereas hope is anticipation of success. This is just like, oh man, this is so freaking hard, but I'm just going to keep the faith, you know? So you can see how these two are related as a final card, but, you know, really you want to wind up here, don't you? Okay, so I hope that helped. I hope that helped to really get the primary vibes of these cards. If you have any questions on this video, as always, leave them in the comments below or message me, however you want to do it. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.